Dragon Ball Sparking Zero has officially concluded with Season 1 of content. Whether or not it was gratifying or outright disappointing, well, we're going to be discussing that right now. With all that out of the way, however, if you guys like it, give it a like, subscribe, and comment down below of what you guys thought of the video. And without further ado, here's the main video. Okay, what is going on, everybody? So, I have Molly here, where we play a lot of Sparking Zero. And, we get along pretty well, and I wanted to bring him on here for an interview to go over a lot of points of which I would like to go over. The main 3 points are quality of the DLC, changes to the game mechanically and balance of its entirety, the current situation and meta of the game as of the time of recording. So with that, I'm gonna take it away with the first point for quality of DLC. Mali, how do you feel about each character that dropped? Because from the very start of the overall season, it felt like it started so strong, and then it kind of dwindled into its own lesser pack that we've expected. How do you feel about that?
Well, I do feel like the DLCs was very fun because a lot of times with the DLC came the actual gameplay patches. More towards the end of the DLCs, more specifically like the second half of the Diamond DLC, I felt that a lot of fans were left expecting more, especially the main. I guess you can call them quote unquote antagonists. The Tamagamis, and a lot of people felt like Pansy was kind of a weird choice. You know what I'm saying? I've definitely seen a lot of people want, Mini Piccolo, and I've even seen people go so far to say that they even wanted Goten and Trunks from the superhero movie. So overall, as far as like the majority of the DLCs, even the surprise DLC with Charlotte, I personally enjoyed the last one. Was definitely underwhelming. Did I enjoy the characters of the last patch or the last DLC? Yeah, but I really felt that I'm on the same boat as you, where it started off strong, then it just kind of dwindled with each passing DLC that got released.
Yeah, for me, I feel like it's not necessarily the choice of characters in I am very well aware that it's very opinionated of who should be in the DLC and everything. But at the same time, my only argument is that I feel like that's not the only thing that we expect. We expect like a good amount of characters because, we're not going to get into politics and all that, but just to kind of graze over it. With a lot of inflation and a lot of debate of price, dollar per value is what I mean. I feel like we expected so much, and I feel like that's to be expected of someone of a very big hyped game like this, because we haven't gotten a game like this well over 10 years, quite literally. So it's an interesting balance with this, and again, it's not character choice, it's more of how much is provided to us, and it's very unfortunate that literally the whole thing about what they presented to us is very, very lackluster, and a lot of people felt that, us included, so in a way I and you cannot help but feel a little bit ripped off in some sense, but at the same time I feel like to some capacity they absolutely did make up for it with Charlotte. And then with Charlotte came a Super Saiyan 4 Diamond Goku, and then Super Saiyan 3 adult Vegeta. So, and they did feel a lot more polished compared to other characters, in my personal opinion. So that's my take. I know it could be a little bit subjective, but hey, it is what it is. So with that, to the next point, was the theme of the DLC lineup in line to what the entire community wanted? That's actually a really good point, to be honest. I would like to go over with you.
As far as what the community wanted, I've seen a lot of debates of, this DLC is supposed to have this many this many maps and this many costumes. So each DLC that came out, while they did come out with new characters, people still felt wanting more. So I personally feel like the expectation of what the community wanted and what the actual product that we was received per DLC, none of it necessarily ever met the community expectation. And a lot of the community expectation is definitely justified, but at the same time, there are some requests that is like a bit excessive per DLC. I was seeing people saying we should have had about 10 maps per DLC, while at the time you only seen people running on about 3 maps. There was times where I was, me and you and some of the other people we play with, we would be playing on different maps, and it was people asking us like, "Yo, how'd you get that map?" I'm like, "We're like that map is in the game." So it's kind of like a little bit of both, in my honest opinion.
Right, right. Yeah, for me, so here's the thing, right? So like, I'm gonna reference a game I put way too freaking many hours into. But one game I feel like a lot of people got very underplayed by was Juggable Fighter Z. I feel like that game only got, and I'm not joking, one extra arena. Now, when I say this in particular, I am not referencing the developers in particular. I am more referencing the publisher, which is Bandai Namco. And I feel like whenever the heck they got planned in their head, is it really lighting up to what we want in a way? Because it's like, I don't know what exactly their priorities reside. I get it, they're trying to juggle a bunch of very well established, Japanese IPs like, My Hero Academia, Jujutsu Kaisen, a bunch of big,
Even Tekken.
big anime, right? And I get that. But, big hitters, in other words. And, I don't know why, but like, do they not realize that, Dragon Ball is like one of their, like, basically golden eggs, essentially? Like, why are we being underplayed for like things that we want? And to be honest, at the start, we don't try to ask for a lot. You know what I'm saying? We try not to ask for a lot. New maps and all that. You could argue it like on the premise they seem very straightforward to make, but we, as gamers, don't know to the great scope what goes into making arenas. But at the same time, it's like, if you really do care about the community, why put all your attention into characters alone and not able to sprinkle up like maybe a new arena or two throughout the whole season? You know what I'm saying? It could be wishful thinking, but it could be maybe even 4 maps for the whole freaking season. And I get that, whatever they have planned out as a roadmap, it might not line up to our expectations. It sucks. We have always gone through something very stupid like that from like many Bandai Namco published games. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. The developers, us wanting them to do more, but some of us understanding the restrictions that they may have due to, deadlines and the handling of other IPs under, the same umbrella company. So I was just agreeing with you.
Right. No, and I feel that, and I feel like a lot of like more lesser educated people don't realize that. But me and you very much have common sense, and I think we shouldn't necessarily fault the developers for what's been planned out. I feel like Bandai Namco has the final say of what goes out and what should it be in a game. And I feel like if Dragon Ball Fighter Z 100% had transformations, the game would have been still relevant even now. Then again, it did come out with an update, and I know it's very, very subjective, like very opinionated, but that's a whole other discussion for another day. Like, you get my point, right?
Yeah, for sure. I definitely got your point.
So, to the next point, did anybody in either the DLC packs, feel overpowered or underwhelming?
Oh, man. I would definitely say when the superhero pack first dropped, Ultimate Gohan leading into Beast Gohan, which the game at that time had certain characters, when they transform, they get a full bar of health back. At the time, he was very, very, very monstrous, but he was still contending with, Ultra Instinct Goku at the time, which he was still pound for pound like the best character in the game. So for the DLC, Ultimate Gohan into Beast Gohan, he was definitely overpowered, but he wasn't like the absolute best in the game at the time when he dropped. I don't think he's ever been the best in the game. Do I think he was ever top 10? Most definitely, for sure. And as far as like somebody that's was underwhelming, I would definitely say still Max. And that's not, a nudge at like the character, because his some of his moves are very beautiful. Like Cell Max's ult is easily one of the most beautiful ultimates in the game. That, oh my gosh, it's like it's straight out the show. But because he is a giant characters are very like underwhelming in Sparking Zero. So those two would definitely be my pick for overpowered and underpowered for that first DLC. The second DLC, which was the first Diamond Pack, I don't think anybody
Yes, if I recall correctly.
I don't I don't think anybody felt like overpowered as far as like the Diamond DLC, the first half. I felt Pansy was underwhelming. Glorio was a little underwhelming in my opinion. I feel like he was more stiff. His animations was a little more stiff than anything. But as far as that one, nah, there wasn't really nobody overwhelming. And then for this final one, I think the final one might be the most like balanced out of all of them, because all, mini Goku Super Saiyan 4, adult Goku Super Saiyan 4, adult Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, they're all like right around the same playing field. You know, even Goma, his normal form before he goes giant, he even felt a little, pretty chill, pretty good. More like a brolic character, but he didn't feel underwhelming in a sense, because how the character design was supposed to represent in the game. You know what I mean?
Right, right, right. No, I get that. For me personally, I feel like our perspectives are like definitely like contrast to each other. Like Gamma 1 and 2 in particular. I feel like for what they were and the type of character types they are, I feel like they were balanced. Only balanced in the sense of like their movement didn't feel bad. Like, how do I put it? They were fine to use and go against. So, to the next point, what exactly could they have done better? Now that's actually a really good point that I would like to go over and would like to hear your thoughts about that in particular.
Um, Honestly, I feel like they could have waited a little bit longer to actually release the game if they felt like that it was some things they needed to tweak. Definitely feel like it could have been a little bit more communication, especially during the time frame of when they dropped the patch to fix. I forgot what the original patch was supposed to fix, but in the process of fixing one thing, they broke the tracking in the game, and we were stuck with very bad tracking for like 2 to 3 months with no communication of, hey, we're actively working on this, or hey, you know we're working around the clock to get a patch out to fix the tracking. So I think between those two, it definitely was something that could have been handled a whole lot better.
Right. Like communication with like community to the developers and all that. Like I feel like overall, like not only does the game feel pretty clunky even now, again, we'll go over that later. But like I just would have liked to see a little bit more effort with the whole animations, like with the supers. The game, like how you interact and fight each other, like on a very basic foundation, it feels fine. But the intricate and like deeper levels of like how you do combos and everything, like there's only so far you can get with it before it kind of feels like not mundane, but like a little bit like to be desired for. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, does that make
Yeah.
any sense? But in any case, so my next point is that what exactly would be the most controversial aspect of the season in terms of DLC packs? So, like, superhero, Dive 1 and 2 packs. Like, which one was probably the most controversial for you?
The most controversial for each DLC pack, or just all of them as a whole?
Like, let's just take them like a huge bulk old packs and then see if any of them have like a controversial character in it.
Um, okay, so with the superhero DLC, when that came out, The most controversial aspect of that one, honestly, besides, everybody screaming for more maps and outfits, I think that DLC is the one that introduced that time frame of bad tracking. So I think during that time frame, that specific DLC, that was probably the most controversial thing. Between that and the key blast stun spam that was going around at the time with Cooler. Those two are the top two for that first DLC. I remember those vividly.
Yeah, I remember that.
The Daima DLC for the first one, honestly, that first Diamond DLC, there really wasn't anything super controversial besides like still everybody screaming for more maps and customization. But that one was kind of more, definitely a lot more polished as far as like patch wise. I do remember some people complaining about Pansy being a character, but I mean that was a handful of people that I was hearing complain about it. But as far as like the first Diamond DLC, because it came out around the time that Diamond was actively airing, we didn't really know who else was going to be on the next one because we were still actively in the middle of the show. So that one was kind of like everybody really didn't have much to complain about. Everybody was kind of more excited that we was able to get our hands on Super Saiyan Mini Goku and finally get the first Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta. And for the last one, the last Diamond DLC, they shut everybody up with the map because they actually did give us a whole new map, a destructible map at that. But a lot of people wanted to the new adult forms like Super Saiyan 3 adult Vegeta, Super Saiyan 4 adult Goku. They wanted them to be an extension of pre-existing characters as characters that can transform into them versus them being their own standalone characters. And I seen a lot of people had an issue with that. I would have liked for it to be where there was a continuation of certain versions of characters and do like how they done with Goku from Super. When you put the power pole on him, it changes one of his moves up. Or at the time when the first DLC for Daima came out, and we had Mini Goku in the game since day one, but he never had his Super Saiyan form. But you had an equipment, a certain accessory on him to where it would change one of his moves and give him access to Super Saiyan. And I think that's something they really could have implemented as far as like making a whole new costume for Goku, where he wouldn't have the Dragon Ball Z outfit, he would have the Daima outfit, and he'll still have access to 1, 2, and 3, but because he has the outfit, he should be able to access for it. I think that's something everybody genuinely wanted and expected, but they threw us a curveball and just said, here's his own slot for Super Saiyan 4, here's his own slot for Super Saiyan 3, Vegeta, and boom, that's that. So that definitely was like a big topic when Daima 2 came out.
Yeah, no, and I agree 100%. Because the thing is like handling DLC is one thing, but then like at the same time you could argue that they couldn't just clean it up and not put like extra slots unnecessarily. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they could have just made an extension like you were saying with Mini Daima Goku, putting like an accessory on him, and then out of nowhere you can go to Super Saiyan and then straight to Super Saiyan 4 and all that. You know, they could have done that. But instead, I don't know where the direction there was, like what their mindset was in that point, but they could have just made it a little bit more unified, you know, they could have done that. Now, in terms of like overall DLC characters, controversial and all that, like the point I was asking you earlier, I feel like in terms of like legitimate, like controversial, I feel like Cell Max, like we said earlier, was very underwhelming. He seemed intimidating at first, but then we kind of just saw that he's like whole bark but no bite type of thing. Like he was very underwhelming. I feel like for the meta then, Beast Gohan was 100% a menace. He can still be a menace even now, but like thanks to the meta shifts and everything, like he's no longer as annoying, but he still is pretty damn annoying. I feel like the most out-of-pocket character that they put out was indeed Pansy. I feel like they could have put somebody else as like a playable character instead of her from freaking Daima. I feel like they could have done that. Moving on to the second point, we basically covered DLC at this point. Did the game feel balanced from the start up until now? And I feel like
Absolutely
that's a
not.
great question.
Sparking Zero today versus Sparking Zero the first month, I would take today every single time, no ifs, ands, or buts. For the ones that was there doing vanilla Sparking Zero before the first patch, it was an absolute battlefield. You didn't know what was going to happen. You didn't know who you're going to run into because it was so many broken things within the game that a lot of characters could just abuse. At the time, we had, oh man, we had the sparking, the insta spark key blast spam into an unblockable ult, Broly. That one's for you. We had the after image strike spam. Oh my gosh, I forgot all about that one. Oh, that was a fun time. Yajirobe and the Sensu beans. Yeah, vanilla Sparking Zero. It was interesting, but I refuse to go back to that one.
Now, for me, there was a lot of more hate than love for the game. Again, if you played this game offline with a friend locally, you're gonna have fun. You're gonna like the game, okay? Pay attention to the structure of my words here. You're gonna like the game. You're gonna enjoy the game, but you're not gonna love the game in particular because the game, like you were saying, vanilla Sparking Zero, aka basically day one. Let's be honest, day one basically lasted for damn near 2 months. Let's be real here. Like, it was an absolute nightmare. Did everything wrong with the game. Like, what you thought was it wrong could be wrong like times 10. It was that bad. Like, I can't even emphasize that enough. Like, the amount of key spam for sparking and how often people would love to go to sparking because I don't know what community was worse, Juggable Fighter Z or Sparking Zero. And the more and more I keep playing the game for what it is, and all that, I feel like Sparking Zero's community was so much more worse than Juggable Fighter Z, because with Juggable Fighter Z, I feel like a lot of people had some form of decency, but then now you have this big toolkit being very cheap and being very annoying and doing whatever it takes to win. Again, everybody is 100% entitled to do what they want and what they enjoy, but at the same time, if the game is mechanically flawed, right? If the game has so many flaws of which, very cunning or opportunistic people see, they're going to take advantage of it and pretty much abuse it. And I feel like that's where I personally feel that the game itself needed so much more time in terms of overall balance. Again, there's a great fine line of being fun and being balanced. And I feel like they attributed too many resources to the animations and the quality of visuals a little bit too much over the balance, because the balance was atrocious. It was so bad. Now I would say that the game is tame. It's tame enough, but there's still people that would love to just still be a royal pain in your butt, quite literally, because I literally just did a couple fights last night. And, it will be a video by the time this comes out. It will already come out and all that. And I'm doing Majin Vegeta, by the way. So again, by the time this comes out, that video will be out. But I digress. So with that, let's go to the next point. And that point is, during different meta ships, which one was the most frustrating? I want to know your thoughts on that too.
Let's see. We had a lot of different matters. You got the vanilla, Insta Spark, Broly, and Kefla. Insta Spark Key Blast into an ult that you could not block, because at the time you couldn't even deflect Key Blasts while moving. So all somebody would have to do is just be right in your face doing Key Blast. You either take the hits to the face or you throw your guard up, but you can't move because you're stuck in one spot. And all they can do is just circle around you, behind you. Now you're open. The after image strike meta was very interesting because it was only 3 characters in the game that had it, but that one wasn't too crazy because it was around the same time as day 1 Sparking Zero. The health regen meta was a fun one, especially if you was into ranked and that meta was actually very prominent. That one was a bit annoying because it would help a lot of people get away with wins they wasn't supposed to get away with because they were able to make a comeback with 4 bars of health versus using somebody that had 3. So it kind of pressures you into using 4-bar characters because I mean you have to just either use a 4-bar character and use somebody that has health regen, or you just be nice enough on your own merit to withstand the battle of attrition at that time.
Yeah, absolutely. And to that point, I feel like you were pressured into using Beast Go On, either variant of the fusion character and all that. I feel like that's what, like, if you're not using them, you're guaranteed to lose. Is what it felt like when health regen meta was a thing, and I feel like that was very stupid. But continue.
But the one that definitely most frustrating, I gotta go to Key Blast spam meta, man. Between that and the leg sweep spam meta, those was just annoying because you know what you're doing. Like you know exactly what you're doing. Especially like the Key Blast spam, it never failed. You can sit there and fight somebody, be going toe to toe with them. You get the leg up on them. They instantly just resort to that, and then right after they get away with that, they want to rematch it. That was just infuriating to deal with because really, I would have to go keep last man. I hated that meta with a passion. The health regen meta, like I switched over to the Gogeta Blue whenever I started getting flustered online, and I'm like, okay, I need somebody to level the playing field. So health regen meta, I was able to survive and adapt to it. Granted, I still feel like that whole meta was stupid in itself, but hey, to each his own. But the Key Blast one, there was no way around it. There was nothing to do. Like even if you got somebody that could do the same thing, it was who could get who first. I hate that one. What's a meta that you genuinely was like didn't enjoy? That frustrated you no matter how the fight was going. You just knew like, oh my god, of course.
Honestly, and again, I love how our perspectives are very, very contrast-esque, if that makes any sense. But for me, I feel like the one minute I even to this day, it still kind of burdens me and like how irritated I am with it. But yeah, for me, it would absolutely be the health regen meta, 100% for me,
Mm,
because it also just limited. It limited the amount of like creativity and like how many characters were actually viable. If they didn't have any health regen or 4th bar health, they were automatically like casted out. And I felt like it lessened the amount of characters that were actually usable to
mhm.
most of the people, because most of the people in the community were just only relying on fusion or ultimate gohan into beast gohan, and just it was very stupid, and it honestly made me not touch the game not that much after I did the video for beast gohan. So, and then it's that, and probably the key blast spam. To be honest with you, I never really had that issue that much compared to you.
That was a genuine like annoying time because it wasn't like okay, I'm gonna just switch to a different character. Like there was no way around it once you got caught in it. And before they started adding ways for you to get out of it, like being able to deflect while moving, they limited the amount of key blasts that can actually sit on screen at once, which that destroyed that whole meta. And then at that time, this is when all the O's were like lightning fast. Like Goku could be on the opposite side of the map. He throw a spirit bomb, you will never see the spirit bomb fly at you because it's right there in your face by the time he throw it. Like it was instant. So key blast spam into unblockable, like that was it. That's all you had to do. And this is when anybody that had a move that enabled them to go full power, enter sparking mode, that was when it was just only 3 skill points. The skill points went up absurdly fast. So it was like you had some characters they will, by the time they finish, their sparking mode, they got enough skill points to do it again. 2 ults and your health is gone, like everything. So that was definitely a very frustrating time. I think that's definitely a time frame that a lot of people reference as far as people that say like, oh, the game sucked, or I dropped it within the first month. I understand why they would drop it because that was very annoying. Even down to like the health like regen meta, like that was a very annoying time because it was either get good or just learn a 4-bar character. And like you said, it cut down on the variety of characters. Because I mean, we fought each other. You've seen my variety. I play with characters you really are not going to see. And the online scene, like I was pretty confident. I was one of the handful of Super Saiyan Kabbas running around for months because I never seen anybody using Super Saiyan Kabba. Even during like the regen meta, I was religiously still using Super Saiyan Kabba because I like Kabba. I like his moveset. I like how they had him set up in the game, and I felt like he was fun to me. So like I agree with you on the health regen. That one was also very to take place in and take a part of.
Yeah, no, and my main thing is like people playing as much as the roster as they can, even though they may not seem feasible on the premise. It's like, even if they're like underdogs, like for an example, like Goku Black, for an example, we will touch on that later on and all that. But like, I have a tendency to use underdogs, like again, in Dragon Ball Fighter Z, with Goku Black and all that. Again, whole other topic we'll get into in a little bit. But yeah, that's just my thing. Is like if metas are so drastic in a way that like casts out characters that were fun before this meta developed, that really does hinder the game for me a lot, because it's like, what's the point of even playing a game if you see like 5,000 Beast Gohans, 5,000, either fusion characters or even, mastered Ultra Instinct Goku, you know what I'm saying? What's even the point? Like, there's no variety. It's just like, you're already expecting the worst. You're already expecting what they're gonna do. So what's even the point, So with all that, we're gonna be going to our last subcategory here, and that is current situation and meta of the game as of the time I'm recording. So right now it is November 1st. So with that, is the game currently fun or tolerable? However you want to, see it, basically.
As somebody who's been there since the very first day, yes. Do I recommend somebody who has not played Sparking Zero to play now? If you're a fan of DBZ and you want to actually feel like that, hey, I got this character, you got this character, I can use their moves, you can use their moves, and visually it's going to look good, I say go for it, get it. It's a good buy, it's a very fun buy, it's definitely a lot more polished than a year ago. I still have a lot of fun up here. I get up here at least every day, every other day, get some fights in, have a great time, whether win or lose, fun time, bad time, I still personally enjoy the game.
Yeah, for me, again, not even Trace for me, quickly wore off, I want to say the first week, because again, a lot of people did see it nostalgic, and I did too, but the thing is, I pick up on a lot of things. I pick up on a lot of cues that I look at it and I'm like, okay, that shouldn't be a thing, or that's not right, or that's really stupid type of thing, I'm not one of those super casual type of players. I'm an advocate type of gamer, I pick up on things really quickly. So to that point, is it fun even right now? Yes, it is, compared to a year ago, like you were mentioning. Oh my god, freaking Vanilla Sparking Zero, never again. Oh my god, dude, that was basically pulling teeth, dude. It was so painful. There were so many imbalances and inconsistencies that literally, I took breaks, bro. I took some pretty lengthy breaks, even to the point where literally I would only play if my friend brought it up. It was that bad. I wanted to make sure that the game matured, was put back in the oven a little bit. There were some doughy areas, you know what I'm saying? It definitely needed to be baked a little bit more, but not, gonna get deep into that. So, with the next topic here, was it worth sticking it out for this long, especially the current situation?
Somebody that grew up starting from Budokai 1, of course, there was other games prior to it, but my more common memory of my Dragon Ball Z gaming life, I started with Budokai 1, going to 3, and then when they introduced the first Tenkaichi, starting from there, going to 2 to 3, and then seeing how even the online Budokai 4, which isn't an official one, but it's a fan-made upgrade of 3 that was floating around for years online. I definitely remember those. Seeing and playing all of those, and then going to Sparking Zero, and then Sparking Zero Day 1 till now, it's been a long road. It's been a very long and interesting year. The game now is a lot more tolerable. There are, of course, some things I still, complain about. Netcode is definitely one of them. But I honestly felt like it's worth, for me, my own personal opinion, I feel like it was worth sticking and toughening out the rough year, because now it's at a place where it just feels at least more stagnant as far as like issues. Like, my main concern right now is just like fixing some of the connection issues, a little bit of, especially when it comes to player versus player, sometimes it can be a little wonky, and there's some slight tracking issues here and there, but it's definitely a whole lot better than a few months ago, beginning of the year, last year. It was worth sticking it out, because now I have a way better product than what we had even back in February. You know what I mean? So, as someone who
Right.
is an advocate for this game and enjoys it, I'm glad I toughed it out, because it definitely shows in like the gameplay itself, coming from
Right.
the different metas that was going across from from the vanilla to the 2-month patch to the 6-month patch, and stuff like that. Like, it definitely shows, and the ones that put the game down because of previous issues in the game that they came back to now, they can definitely say like it definitely feels a whole lot more different. It's a lot more fluid, a little bit more cohesively put together now. Still has its flaws, like, don't get it twisted, but it's definitely a very fun game now. Even more fun than day 1, when nobody really knew what to do. I have a blast up here.
Yeah, no, and I feel the same incentive. It's like, how do I put it? Everybody absolutely lost their crap, when they saw the trailer. Like, that was the best way you could ever announce a game. Like, just that, like, announce trailer alone is what made me believe in the vision that they have. I still believe in it even now, even after the amount of like really imbalanced, inconsistent elements of the game. Even knowing all that, it's the experiences you can have with your friends that literally makes it that much more, fun. And I think that's what a lot of people tend to forget, basically. It's like, gaming is built to have fun, not to be competitive, not to, be all these negative things. Just play the game for what it's meant to be. Like, if it's meant to be a competitive game, it's meant to be a competitive game. We're competitive players. You want to take a competitive, that's fine. But, like, I feel like a lot of people by default, whatever they grab, they just default to being very competitive. And I feel like that's like a double-edged type of sword situation. It's like, people doesn't, forget that you can calm down. You can relax with the game and just play it for what it's intended to be. So, and I played the game for what it's meant to be, and that's having good fights, having really iconic moments. Because let's be honest, when you do and use, Goku mid, and you slight Frieza from its, his respective arc, which is in, the Frieza arc, you can reenact that very same, like, epic conclusion in the game, and I feel like that's so badass. You know what I'm saying? It's moments like that that, you know, you can relive those iconic moments your way, your terms, and how you go about it. And man, that's what makes me still believe in the game, even though it marinated into something still a little bit rough. It's not perfect, I'll be honest. But let's see what year two has to offer. And if they can patch up the holes that this game has right now, and they give us more to make up for their mistakes, then quality from the creative designer that make this game. If he wants this game to last for 10 years, is like you said, like Xenoverse, then my God, does he have a lot to work on to make it up to the player base. Because if he wants to do that, he needs to adjust the errors, the communication, and the amount of stuff we ask for, which I know is something that won't fully happen, but if he can adjust it in such a way that would satisfy the player base, I feel like he can really drive home this game and really make it a generational anime game that will live on not only for 10 years, but, you know, for decades at a time. And I feel like it has that potential to being just that. So, to the final point, and that is, was the final DLC everything we hoped it to be and more?
Nah, the last one was definitely underwhelming. Definitely underwhelming. Like I said before, we definitely should have gotten the Tamagami as part of the last set, or at least part of the first set. You know what I'm saying? It was definitely, I mean, they gave us a new map, cool, but that final DLC was a little underwhelming. Did I enjoy the DLC and characters? For sure. But definitely still underwhelming. There is news for something. January next year, they said we have a announcement for Sparking Zero. We don't know what it is. They announced that like a month and a half ago, or something like that. So, I mean, all we can do now is cross our fingers that they give us something good. But at least we do know that there is going to be more support in the game moving forward. And honestly, that's really all I can ask for.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. 100%. Like, everything DLC wise. The final one, I don't know, I'm mixed. Because, like, the quality of the individual characters themselves felt great. However, the contents of what was included in the pack was absolutely, you know, near almost robbery, I would say, because we got like what? How many characters did we get? Like what? 3? We only got 3 characters, right?
We got Mini Super Saiyan 4, Adult Super Saiyan 4, Adult Super 3, and Goma in his normal and giant form. So yeah, about 4 or 5. Count Goma is 2 people.
Okay, so let's say like 5 characters then. Let's just run it out to 5. But at the same time, it still boils down to like at least about half of that is the same person, just different sizes. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So like it's still very hard to justify that even now. So we pretty much covered all the main points. Are there any points that you would like to bring up, Mally, before we wrap up the video? Is there any like things you would wish, like a wish list? You know what? Yeah, that's a good point. Would you want to make a wish list? And so what would that look realistically? And if you want
at the top of my wish list is moves. I want more moves. I want to be able to interchange moves. I want to have my Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, instead of the father-son Kamehameha, I want him to do the one he done against Bojack, where he throws the Kamehameha out and then comes flying at him. Y'all gave the move to Bojack. Why? Give it to Gohan too. Let him switch it out. Give me my meteor combination. Let me switch it out. You know what I'm saying? Let me switch my moves out.
Yeah, no, 100%. Now, if I were to make any wish list, and it's pretty general and kind of coincides with yours, but I'm gonna kind of borrow from yours too. I want to see meteor combination, like you were saying. I want to be able to, you know, be creative and change different supers, and then not only that, give us more freaking customization. Period. More cosmetics. We need cosmetics. We're rich for nothing. Like there's nothing to work for in the shop. We basically bought out the shop basically, and there's nothing to work for. So give us something more. I don't even care. It could be the most stupidest anyway, the most stupidest, excuse me, I can't speak, like costumes ever to grace this game. Give us something more, okay? give us something to work for, and not just stupid Dragon Balls, because at that point, even Shenron's gonna look at us like there's nothing to wish for, okay? You got everything. So give us more to work for. And, you know, for me, my only personal wish list is just give us more freaking arenas. Just, like, I know it sounds like such a simple request, and I know to, like, game developers, there's so much that goes into making, you know, character models and all these things, but if you just grant us at least maybe like another 2 or 3 new arenas for season 2 of Sparking Zero, I promise we will stop bitching, we will stop whining for a good solid like 6 months. Let's be honest, because we're gonna start complaining again, whether it be something about gripe that we're gonna pick and then everything. It's gonna reset. In other words, we're gonna start complaining about something stupid again. So, but then again, that's the gaming community for you. So,
Yeah.
Molly, we have reached the end of the interview. Thank you so much for stopping by and sharing your thoughts. I want to get impressions of the game of its entirety, because honestly, we vibe. And like I said at the very beginning of this video, we do play quite often, which we need to run it again, by the way. And if you guys haven't noticed, I am currently playing like the fights we've had in the past and all that. So with that out of the way, Molly, is there anything you want to close off the video with?
Make sure you eat your greens, kids. Brush your teeth. Do cartwheels every day, and don't use an instant spark because I'm gonna hit you.
All right, that's a great way to freaking end the video there. So again, guys, as you always know, if you guys liked the video, give it a like, subscribe, and comment down below on what you guys thought of the video. Let me know what you would like to see for season 2, because hopefully they got a lot in store for us, because damn, they got a lot to make up for. So with that said, I will see you guys in the next one.